On the news, Boko Haram invades another military base in Borno State, captures and kills Nigerian soldiers. PDP holds crucial meeting, named former Senate President Saraki head of Reconciliation Committee. And 78 Nigerians rescued from human traffickers in Cote d'Ivoire. Many thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria in Simisola Atikun. We begin in Borno State, northeast Nigeria, where suspected Boko Haram terrorists have attacked a base of the Nigerian army in Mate local government area, killing an unspecified number of soldiers. Local and security sources confirmed the attack, saying the incident happened at Forward Operation Base of the 153 Task Force Battalion around 3 a.m. on Monday. According to the sources, the terrorists ran towards Dikwa and are currently at the 24 Task Force Brigade in Dikwa. They also confirmed that the terrorists burnt down armored tanks and made away with arms and ammunition from the base. Meanwhile, troops of Operation Hadinkai have recorded a major success in the ongoing counter-insurgency campaign against Boko Haram terrorists following a well-coordinated offensive within the notorious Sambisa forest. This was disclosed in a statement issued by Captain Reuben Kovingia, the Acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations Headquarters, Theatre Command, on Monday in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. The operation, which took place on Sunday, May 11, in the Ladin Butu area, a known Boko Haram enclave, resulted in the neutralization of 5 insurgents after intense firefight. In the meantime, Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State has charged proposed reforms to tackle growing insecurity in the country. Uzodinma gave the proposal during a visit by a delegation of security experts from the National Institute for Security Studies, Abuja, as part of efforts to strengthen the conversation of reforming Nigeria's security architecture. While welcoming the delegation, Uzodinma says addressing the menace of insecurity in Nigeria requires a multi-pronged approach.
Security starts from the point of national planning, economic planning, political planning, government economic policies. Because when you have unemployment growing day by day, it is insecurity that is growing. When you have poverty growing day by day, it is insecurity that is growing. When citizens have no good access to quality education, it is insecurity that is growing. When the world is leaving you behind, from analog status to a digital order, and you are staying behind, it is insecurity that is growing.
Still on addressing Nigeria's security crisis, the nation's Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, has reversed his earlier stance and pledged full support for the National Security Summit being planned by the National Assembly. The minister changed his stance after the Senate had recently faulted his dismissal of the planned 2-day National Security Summit, which he had described as unnecessary. Speaking during the ministerial briefing in Abuja, the minister argued that improved strategy, not summits, was the key to addressing Nigeria's insecurity. But addressing journalists in Abuja over the weekend, Badaru emphasized that while the summit offers a valuable platform for dialogue, true progress lies in transforming ideas into concrete national defense strategies. Away from security, ahead of its National Executive Committee meeting and National Convention, the main opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP) has appointed former Senate President Bukola Saraki as chairperson of its 7-member Reconciliation Committee to address the internal crisis in the party. Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State, who also chairs The PDP Governors Forum made the announcement after a late-night meeting of the party leaders in Abuja, which was focused on recent defections and internal disputes threatening the unity of the party ahead of the 2027 general elections. The Bauchi governor said the committee was set up to reach out to aggrieved members and ensure a peaceful NEC meeting and national convention. Addressing journalists after the announcement, Saraki said the committee will do its best to reconcile party members and ensure smooth preparations for the NEC meeting scheduled to hold on May 27.
My PDP, our leader, the chairman of the party, and some members of the National Working Committee, some existential issues, of course, that have been around in the media, within us, so that we'll be able to navigate smoothly to NEC that is scheduled to take place on the 27th of this month, and by August we will have an early convention. So many issues and francos have been made, and it is an opportunity to close rank and to make sure that at least there is no ill feelings, there are no qualms, there are no misgivings between the leaders of the party. Governors of the party have reached out to our colleagues who have been there before, who have more experience, and who know so much in a way and manner that whatever suggestions or opinion they may have would go a long way in giving an added impetus to the actualization of our NEC and our convention that is scheduled to take on specific dates.
A chieftain of the PDP, Dabo Ikiabo Warmate, joined me to share his thoughts on this recent development in the party. Thank you for coming on, Mr. Warmate. Now, the PDP is struggling right now due to internal disputes which have led to several defections to the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. What's your take on the choice of Bukola Saraki as head of the Reconciliation Committee?
Well, thank you for having well, the choice of His Excellency Dr. Bukola Saraki, I think, is in the right direction. And considering the fact that it is a terrain that he has been before, you know, before this time he was the chairman of the Reconciliation Committee. So bringing him back is not a bad idea, I believe. And also the committee, it is expedient at this point for such a committee to be set up. I just hope that the committee will focus on the important issues. Like, for now, the major issue is the position of the National Secretary, the deliberate attempt by the Governors Forum, PDP Governors Forum, to bypass and flagrantly disobey the Constitution and the misinterpretation of the Supreme Court decision is one of the issues that have recently, escalated the tension or the interest wrangling in the party. Because if you recall, before now there was a secretary, and they took him to court at the lower court and at the appeal court. They won, but in the Supreme Court, he won, and that is the person of most distinguished Senator Samuel Emeka. He won. After winning, they misinterpreted the judgment of the Supreme Court. And instead of recognizing and supporting him and the national chairman to ensure that the party moves forward, they decided to appoint an acting national chairman. That was what escalated the tension in the party and even the defection of PDP members, because members began to wonder who is going to sign their form. As we speak today, they are supposed to hold NEC on the 27th of this month. Who is going to sign the circular? Based on Section 33, is the National Secretary. And the National Secretary, the governors have deliberately, with due respect to them as stakeholders of the party, refused to recognize him and has appointed their own acting National Secretary, which by law and the Supreme Court judgment cannot stand. And that is one of the things that has fueled this crisis or tension in the party. Because recall, when they were going for the Ibadan meeting, party faithful like us hoped that they will be able to call the National Secretary and invite him to the meeting to discuss the way forward for the party. I haven't heard the, the pronouncement of the Supreme Court, which was in his favor. The Supreme Court unanimously upheld all his prayers. And also, following section 47.5, he has no grounds, there is no grounds. That office has never been vacant. So this is a major aspect the committee need to focus on. And I believe that the committee will do the right thing. I hope that they will do the right thing, because we don't have any national secretary. Anybody other than Senator Samuel Anyanwu, it will cause crisis in the party. It will lead to PDP not even having a candidate. It will even be difficult for PDP to convey next meeting and much more convention, because people like us will demand for the constitution to be respected. And if we give them maybe a week to the convention, next they don't rectify that, we are going to go to court to ask the court to interpret the Supreme Court judgment while this thing is pending.
The upcoming NEC meeting. Yes, but how would you react to the statement made by the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, that's Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State, who suggested that the ruling APC may be exploiting the PDP's internal crisis for political gain?
Yeah, it's because the PDP members and leaders gave them the room. Just imagine if the Governors Forum decided to go in line with the Constitution by recognizing Anyanwu and also in line with the Supreme Court judgment. There will be no need to say this ruling party will exploit the crisis in the party. If you avoid crisis, what will the ruling party exploit? It's their right to make sure that you are not united. It's their strategy. So I don't blame that. I blame the Governors Forum that has refused or delayed to accept the fact that Anyanwu, by the constitution of our great party and by the Supreme Court pronouncement, remains the national secretary. So
stop you there, Mr. Dabo Kiabo. Thank you so very much for lending your thoughts. I know you have a lot to say, but we'll continue the conversation some other time. Thank you very much, sir. In other stories, President Bola Tinubu has just sworn in newly appointed commissioners of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Tukur Abdul Razak Yusuf, representing the Northwest, and Sunday Nwabam Aja, representing Ebonyi State in the Southeast. The swearing-in ceremony took place on Monday ahead of the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting. Tinubu also swore in Ekpeme Indem from Cross River and Buba Inyaure from Taraba State as board members of the Code of Conduct Bureau at the council chambers of the Presidential Villa, Abuja.
As you are aware, the commission is made up of a chairman and 12 national commissioners, drawn on the basis of 2 commissioners per geopolitical zone. So vacancies existed for the Northwest and the Southeast. And the Senate has screened and confirmed the nominees, and Mr. President today performed the swearing in. So we have almost the full complements of the commissioners of the commission. As we are aware also, about 2 weeks ago or so, we lost one of our commissioners, Major General Al-Ghali. May his soul rest in peace. So now we have almost the full complements of commissioners. But we reviewed the 2023 general elections on our own. We engaged with the stakeholders. We came up with 142 recommendations. Out of these 142 recommendations, 8 require constitutional or electoral act amendment. And we discussed this with members of the National Assembly. So far, so good. We are happy with our discussions with them, and we are also happy with the speed with which they want to proceed, so that we'll have some necessary amendments done to the Electoral Act ahead of the 2027 general elections. As far as the law is concerned, and as far as I'm aware, I remain the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, and under the Constitution, the Chief Electoral Commissioner of the Federation, and under the Electoral Act, the returning officer for the presidential election.
Human trafficking continues to be one of the gravest humanitarian issues confronting Nigeria, with young women often lured abroad under false pretenses. In a major rescue operation, nearly 80 trafficked Nigerian ladies have returned home after a harrowing experience in Côte d'Ivoire. TV360's Tamilore Akinkwole reports on their emotional homecoming and the growing call for systemic change.
78 Nigerians, including 73 females, 2 males and 3 babies, have been repatriated to the country after being victims of human trafficking in Côte d'Ivoire. The group, made up predominantly of young women aged between 13 and 30, were lured out of the country under the guise of employment opportunities abroad. They were received at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, by the Director General of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, who described the return as a significant milestone in the ongoing fight against human trafficking.
We have arrested 2 that are connected to the Côte d'Ivoire trafficking. In fact, we met 2 victims inside the house where those two gentlemen were arrested.
The repatriation was carried out free of charge through a partnership between Airpeace, NAPTIP and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Chairman of Airpeace, Alain Onyema, who spearheaded the repatriation effort, expressed deep concerns over the prevalence of trafficking and the sexual abuse many of the victims endured.
All of them will be there. If you want to see them, you see them. They will test them. Whatever you have, Airpeace will bear the brunt of the treatment, not just tests, so that we can release them into the society. But most importantly, to make them understand humanity, because they've been made to feel as if they're subhuman by the kind of treatment they underwent in Côte d'Ivoire.
Speaking on the sidelines of the reception, Very Dark Man called for a systematic overhaul to address the root causes of trafficking, particularly Nigeria's porous borders.
Because of the porousness of the border, you have insecurity in the country, terrorism and all. It's not only bag of rice. The immigration needs to expand, expand what they do with their time. How come over 200, 500 girls are leaving Nigeria almost every day? Bringing them back is not a solution, but stopping them from going is the solution.
According to the president of the Nigerian community in Côte d'Ivoire, over 1,515 Nigerian girls have been repatriated from Côte d'Ivoire since 2021. It revealed that many of them have been trapped in the forest and forced into illegal gold mining.
I just want the government, more especially this organ that called NAPTIP, to calm down to the level of this girl, to investigate very well, to know how they operate, those that are taking them to Côte d'Ivoire, not only in Côte d'Ivoire, to Mali, to Burkina Faso, and to Ghana. These are the 4 major countries in West Africa where that golds are being mined. So these are the areas where you see them in thousands.
One of the returnees, a 24-year-old pregnant woman from Osun State who had been living in Edo State, shared her story.
So there was a friend, one of my friends, that told me that she's in Abidjan, that she's running supermarket, that she would love me to come and work, that a month they pay like 200k, 300k. I said no problem. I said that I shouldn't worry about the transport because I told her that I don't have money. I'm able learning work. I'm just free with my work. I'm looking for money to buy machine because I learned tailor. I'm looking for money to buy machine to start up my own business. So he said that I should come, that he's going to pay for my transport. I said fine, no problem. The moment I got there, I was now asking her, where is the supermarket that you told me that you are running? She said that is a lie, there is no supermarket, there is prostitution work. I was like, why do you lie to me at the first? Say it's prostitution work, that she will be sleeping with different men, that she paid 3 million naira for my transport, that you sleep with different men, I will not pay her back the money. I said, I cannot do that. I cannot do such thing. So she said that if I did not do that, she cut my hair. She said that she's going to take it to the Babalawo place to swear anything I see, I will be.
As these young women begin the long journey of healing and reintegration, their stories serve as a sobering reminder of the urgent need to strengthen border security and protect Nigeria's most vulnerable. The fight against human trafficking is far from over, but with continued collaboration and awareness, there is hope for a safer future. Tamilore Akinkwole, TV360, Lagos.
It's time for a short break. Coming up on News Now, India's military warns Pakistan against ceasefire violations amid tensions. Stay with us for details. Welcome back. Let's give you a recap of our main stories. Suspected Boko Haram terrorists have attacked a base of the Nigerian army in Mate local government area of Borno State, killing an unspecified number of soldiers. Local and security sources who confirmed the attack said the incident happened at forward operation base of the 153 Task Force Battalion around 3 a.m. on Monday. They also confirmed that the terrorists burnt down armored tanks and made away with arms and ammunition from the base. Meanwhile, troops of Operation Hadinkai have recorded a major success in the ongoing counter-insurgency campaign against Boko Haram terrorists following a well-coordinated offensive within the notorious Sambisa forest. We also told you that ahead of its National Executive Committee meeting and National Convention, the main opposition, People's Democratic Party (PDP), has appointed former Senate President Bukola Saraki as chairperson of its 7-member Reconciliation Committee to address the internal crisis in the party. In case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limet World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. Well, let's join Victoria Konde for more stories in business. Over to you, Victoria.
Thank you very much. Business news now. The Lagos State Commissioner for Finance, Abayomi Oluyomi, says the state hit 333 billion naira revenue in the first quarter of 2025, higher than the 232 billion naira generated in the first quarter of 2025. Abayomi spoke on Monday while giving a report at the annual ministerial briefing on the activities of his ministry between 2024 and 2025 to mark the second year of the second term of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and Obafemi Hamzat's administration. He further said 800,000 properties in the state are on the state government's database, but lamented that several property owners are owing the state property tax.
Revenue generation at the federal level also faces a shortfall. Although the federal government has set an ambitious revenue target of 36 trillion for 2025, actual collection is slowing down, with about 1.9 trillion recorded in January, a 31% decline from December 2024 figure. So you can see that this twin policy objective has some tempering to the economic growth of Nigeria. In this challenging macroeconomic environment, Lagos State stands at a critical junction with a GDP by PPP, purchasing power parity, estimated at $259 billion. Lagos, I must say, is not only Nigeria's economic and financial hub, but also Africa's largest subnational economy. The state is particularly sensitive to national and global fluctuations. To combat this, the Lagos Ministry of Finance has responded with deliberate and strategic policy initiatives. These efforts have not only buffered the state finances, from short, but have also positioned Lagos State as a leader in subnational financial management.
Right now, we'll go on a short break and be back with stock market updates. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now, in line with analysts' expectations of mixed sentiment trailing the market, Nigeria's equities market declined by 0.24% on Monday as stocks like eTranzact International and other major decliners pushed the market into negative territory, bringing the market capitalization down to 68.1 trillion naira. Now, in total, 127 NGX listed equities participated in trading, with 39 gainers and 28 losers at the close. On the losing side, eTranzact International recorded the biggest loss, with a 10% decline, closing at 5 naira 40 kobo per share, and was followed closely by Nigerian Aviation Handling Company. Now, at the close of the first trading day of the week on the Nigerian exchange market, now over 414 million shares were traded in 16,664 deals, corresponding to a market value exceeding 10 billion naira. Now, when this is compared with the previous trading day, which is Friday, the 9th of May, today's data reflects a 10% decline in volume, a 4% decline in turnover, but a 6% increase in the number of deals. Now, on the global scene, reverse was the case as U.S. stocks rallied on Monday following an agreement between U.S. and China to temporarily reduce tariffs after weekend negotiations in Switzerland. The Dow Jones Industrial Average surged 2.3%, and its counterparts like the Japan's Nikkei and UK's FTSE also closed in the positive territory. Now, in the foreign exchange market, as of today, the US dollar is trading at 1,565 naira, the British pounds at 2,015 naira, and the euro at 1,617 naira. That's it on both business and stock market updates. Back to you, Simi, for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Victoria. And on the foreign scene, India's military has sent a hotline message to Pakistan about violations of a ceasefire agreed this week and informed it of New Delhi's intent to respond if it was repeated. India's Director General of Military Operations spoke as a fragile 24-hour ceasefire appeared to be holding after both sides blamed the other for initial violations on Saturday night. The truce announced on Saturday followed 4 days of intense fighting between the nuclear-armed neighbors. In the worst fighting in nearly 3 decades, they fired missiles and drones at each other's military installations, killing almost 70 people. Meanwhile, Pakistan's military spokesman has denied any violation of the ceasefire. And on sports, the Flying Eagles have advanced to the semi-final of the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON, beating defending champion Senegal 3-1 on penalties on Monday. The game ended barren, leading to extra time and pushing the match to the spot kicks, where Nigeria emerged 3-1 winners. The victory has earned Nigeria a spot in the Under-20 World Cup billed for Chile later in the year. PSG defender Achraf Hakimi has been voted the top African player in the French league after helping his club win a record-extending 13th Ligue 1 title and reaching the Champions League final. The 26-year-old Moroccan won the Marc-Vivien Foé Award ahead of Nice forward Yvan Gossan from Ivory Coast and Senegalese midfielder Habib Diarra, who plays for Strasbourg. Hakimi, regarded as one of the best right-backs in the world, scored last week as PSG defeated Arsenal 2-1 in the second leg of their Champions League semi-final. Well, that's it on News Now. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next time.